This is lesson 6.6b. We're going to continue finding the whole when we have the percent and the part, but now the percent is going to be a decimal. So if we look at example 3 here, it says 62.5% of what number is 30? So I'm going to rewrite that. So I have my 62.5%. Okay, so that's the first part of our sentence. 62.5% of what number? Well, what does of mean? Of means we're going to be multiplying. So times a number. Do we know what the number is? No, so we're going to plug in a variable. I'm just going to say n. So we have 62.5% of a number that we don't know is 30. So what does is mean? Is means equals 30. So I'm taking that sentence and rewriting it as a math sentence. So now we want to simplify this a little bit so that we'll be able to solve for n. So instead of 62.5%, I'm going to rewrite that as a decimal. That way we can just plug the decimal into our calculator. When we rewrite a percent as a decimal, you move that decimal twice to the left. So then I would have 0.625 times n. I can just rewrite as n because when there's a coefficient and a variable right next to each other, that means multiplication equals 30. So just rewrite that math sentence, and we're simplifying the numbers a little bit so it's easier for us to solve. So now we're going to solve this equation. We have to solve for n. Our goal is to get n alone. So what are we going to do to both sides to get n alone? We are going to have to divide by 0.625. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side, divided by 0.625. That cancels out. And we are left with n equals, what is n? N is 48. So that means the whole is 48. So let's go back and see if that makes sense. If our sentence says 62.5% of 48 is 30. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does, because 30% is more than half of 48%. Of 48, so that's about 62.5%. That would make sense. Okay, now let's look at the try it. Let's try B. 0.3% of what number is 24? So let's rewrite this sentence. 0.3% of what number? Okay, well, of means multiply. What number? I don't know, so I'm going to plug in a variable for n. Is 24, finish it up, equals 24. So we have the percent, we have the part, we have to find the whole. Now I'm going to rewrite this because I don't want a decimal percent, I just want a decimal. Move my decimal point twice to the left to go from decimal to percent, percent to decimal. Remember, going from percent to decimal means we're dividing it by 100, so you're moving that decimal twice to the left. So then we have 0. And look, I'm going to put a little 0 there too. 2 zeros. So 0.003 n equals 25. So again, our goal is to solve for n. So we are going to divide both sides by 0.003 divided by 0.003. And what does n equal? N equals... I got 8,333. Is that right? Let's double check that. 25 divided by 0.003. Yeah, that's a crazy number. 8,333.3. The 3 is repeating. Interesting. Okay, let's look at number 9. 7.5% of what number is 15? So we have 7.5%. What does of mean? Of means multiply times what number? I don't know, so let's plug in a variable. Is 15 equals 15. So we have to rewrite that percent as a decimal. How do you write 7.5% as a decimal? We would move that decimal twice to the left. 0.075 n equals 15. Our goal is to solve for n, so let's get n alone. We're going to divide both sides by 0.075. Cancels out. And what does n equal? N equals 200. So the whole is 200. Last question, let's look at number 25. It says people use water to cook, clean, and drink every day. It is estimated that 16.8% of the water used each day is for cleaning. If a family uses 67.2 gallons of water per day for cleaning, how many total gallons do they use per day? Okay, so people use water to cook, clean, and drink every day. It is estimated that 16.8% of the water used each day is for cleaning. If a family uses 67.2 gallons of water per day for cleaning, how many total gallons do they use per day? So we know the percent. The percent is easy for us to see. It jumps right out. You look for that percent sign. So we have 16.8% of a total amount. So do we know the total number of gallons they use per day based on the information in the word problem? No, we don't. So we're going to be finding that whole number. We're going to be finding the total. So we have 16.8% of some amount is what number? How many gallons of water do they use for cleaning? They use 67.2. So we took that information from the word problem and we rewrote it in a math sentence. Or we're not yet in like the math sentence. Right now we kind of have a combination of words in math. So let's rewrite this. 16.8%. Well, I don't want a decimal percent, so let's convert this to a decimal. And then I would have 0.168 of a number. Of means multiply. So times a number is 672 equals 672. So now I want you to solve this. What does n equal? So we're going to divide both sides by 0.168. And then n equals 4,000. So they use 4,000 gallons of water each day.